Ahead tonight, stepping down. The Governor General prepares to demit office and the Prime Minister reveals when a new Governor General will be sworn in. Plus, trending down. That's what the National Security Minister says about stats showing the level of crime in the country. And at a stalemate in negotiations for a new industrial agreement at ZNS. First at 6 begins now.
HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. And now, first at 6. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Hello and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight. First at 6, I'm Andrew Knowles. Thanks so much for joining us. It's official. Governor General His Excellency Sir Arthur Folkes will demit office on July 8th. Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie confirming in the House of Assembly today a new Governor General will be sworn in at that time, but no word yet on who will take over the post. Sir Arthur, who took the post as head of state on April 14th, 2010, will leave for London on June 21st for a farewell visit to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and return on June 30th. The Prime Minister highly praised Sir Arthur, who he says served the country well during his tenure and will be remembered as an important figure in the development of democracy in the country.
He has served in this highest of constitutional offices with utmost distinction. His devotion to duty has been uniformly exemplary throughout his tenure. Sir Arthur brought to the office of Governor General a profound sense of patriotism and a deep understanding of our history and our culture. His love for country and his dedication to the Bahamian people were consistently evident in all that he did. Moreover, he served with great dignity, with complete impartiality, and with a sincere warmth for all of his fellow citizens, irrespective of social station or political affiliation.
The Prime Minister noted the Governor General's more than 60 years in frontline service to national development is drawing to a close, and history will remember him as a major figure in the struggle for majority rule. Prime Minister Christie added that the Governor General has inspired him and many other politicians.
On behalf of all my colleagues in the government, on behalf of the Bahamian people, and on my own behalf, I extend our deepest gratitude to Sir Arthur Folkes for his stellar service as Governor General and for all the many magnificent accomplishments over the course of more than 6 decades in helping to foster the advancement of the Bahamian people and our constitutional democracy.
Also from Parliament, outlining the country's commitment to the war and crime was the focus of the Minister of National Security's budget communication in the House of Assembly today. Carla Palmer reports tonight that crime has trended down, but there is still much more work to do.
Cannot deny it. Crime is now an evil in the country that impacts sectors of our economy and all persons within our communities. And no one can claim immunity from it.
Minister of National Security and the Member of Parliament for Baines and Grantstown, the Honourable Dr. Bernard Nottage, reporting to the House on the current state of crime in the country.
Suffice it to say, we have made good progress in the investigations of a significant amount of murder case files. But I have to say, Mr. Speaker, and I understand it, that the thing that most challenges citizens with respect to crime is the number of murders. And to date, we've had 62 murders for the year.
Minister Nottage notes that recidivism remains a challenge.
When we assumed office in 2012, we inherited thousands of serious case files for prosecution. Due to many factors, many of these serious matters were not tried before the courts before we came to office. And so hundreds of offenders were released on bail, and over time, they returned to our communities, where many of them continue to reoffend.
Despite this, Minister Nottage says the government remains poised in its attempt to remedy the problem. He reminded that crime is everyone's business.
The crime scourge with which we are faced today did not happen upon the Bahamas overnight. we must all be prepared to exercise patience in seeking liberation from it. And when we start throwing around criticisms about who's responsible and who's not responsible, if we took the time to look at who's committing the crimes, and we're seeking to give the cause there to be believed that there's some political party or some political thought that is creating crime, they'll be surprised where the blame would go. But this is a no-blame speech today, Mr. Speaker. So I'm not going to put blame on anyone. All of us are in this together.
Minister Nottage says the high level of crime now in the country did not just occur overnight. And while he says the government is doing what it can to address the problem, he called on the wider community to assist the police in reporting any criminal activity. I'm Carla Palmer for ZNS Network News.
Negotiations for a new industrial agreement for employees here at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas has reportedly reached a stalemate. Bahamas Communications and Public Officers Union President Bernard Evans explains.
We understand the economic situation of the country and the government, but you got VAT apparently now coming on stream in the new year, and so salaries need to be bumped up. I know it's difficult, but we hope that the minister responsible, Minister Bernard Nottage, is able to find some avenue, some stream of avenue, financially that is, so we can close off the ZNS contract. It's been expired now for a year, and so hopefully over the next 2-3 weeks we're able to close that off, so that ZNS, the staff of ZNS could feel some relief and some compensation for leading going into the summer.
Mr. Evans lamented that the union has to ponder ZNS management's offer and the length of time for the new contract.
Certainly we don't see a signed contract for 5 years, and so that's where we are stalemate. So we can meet in a happy medium, we'll be able to move on.
Okay, ideally, what length do you want the contract to be at?
Well, ideally, we've been dealing with 3-year contracts from inception, and so that's still our target. Now, even though 1 year have already gone, similar to what happened here, we just signed this contract with the Bridge Authority, but then it expires in September of this year, so we're back at the table again. I can understand what the government is saying; they don't want to get to that point. They want to have some lull in between these contracts when we negotiate. But unless they offer something substantive that the members could swallow and accept, then 3 years is still what we're shooting for. All right.
Meantime, General Manager here at the BCB, Edwin Liburn, told our news team today that he is a little surprised that the union has said that they have reached an impasse with the negotiations for a new staff industrial agreement. He says the last time both parties met, a presentation was made that actually proposed to reward employees for their productivity. The ZNS GM says the union has yet to get back with them since that last meeting, although they did promise to. Well, coming up, the disabled community going on a trip of a lifetime. We'll explain when First at 6 continues.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Shock Treatment.